Well, folks, it looks like Star Trek fans just got another blow to what's going to be released in the upcoming months, years, days, eons, whatever epochs. This according to comicbook.com, however, it's being reported a couple of other places. Not seeing many people talk about it because it's not an exact mainstream project, I suppose you could say, but for fans of classic Star Trek, streaming era Star Trek, I guess you could call it. This has to do with the Voyager of it all. This one written by Kofi Outlaw, which is either a really cool pseudonym or their parents were just very interesting people. I'm not going to read this. This is just the background. We're talking about the Star Trek Voyager official documentary, To the Journey, looking back at Star Trek: Voyager. Now, the DS9 one came out a few years ago. This is supposed to be along those same lines, except for, obviously, Voyager. And it's been around, as this says, since 2021 with all the crowdfunding, a whole bunch of stuff. However, we are given an update. Recently, I believe yesterday, the actual campaign itself announced the update. So, funded in 6 hours, To the Journey, looking back at Star Trek Voyager, and that's just, I guess, what it is. Today, the team behind To the Journey posted an important update on their social media page. The long and short of the message is the volatile factors in the DVD Blu-ray market, as well as licensing and distribution challenges, are still holding up the project from being released. Fulfillment costs and inflation have had a major impact. Now, this is interesting. I don't know if it's going to address it. Go away, ads there. But just a couple of days ago, was it over the weekend or was it like last Friday? I can't remember. 2 seasons of Star Trek Voyager just mysteriously disappeared from Paramount Plus, which is very odd considering Paramount Plus supposedly owns all of the rights to Star Trek minus some of the best Star Trek, Prodigy, but whatever. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with what's going on here, or if they're just two completely different licensing issues going on with Voyager at the same time. That's a very tricky situation, as this Voyager documentary has been collecting record revenue from crowdfunding, pre-orders, and an entire merchandise store. In fact, the documentary team actually cites the merch as one big hurdle they need to get over, saying, before even reaching the physical media stage, hundreds of thousands of dollars were spent fulfilling the backer perks promised during the campaign, including manufacturing and shipping. They also state that due to approximately 25% inflation, I'm assuming that's because of the tariffs, but we'll see, across the economy, these increases have had a substantial cumulative effect. Icon. On the licensing and distribution side, the group claims that Paramount passed on distributing the film. After they couldn't come to terms due to upfront costs, they require a 6-figure license fee before any wide release can move forward, which has added complexity to the path towards producing DVDs and Blu-rays. There is also direct competition from a YouTube Voyager documentary that recycles archival footage from interviews and featurettes and splices them into the documentary-style feature. According to the To the Journey team, we have reported this to Paramount, but no action has been taken as of yet. Its visibility has added confusion at a very sensitive stage in distributor discussions. I'm wondering if this is the Voyager documentary the Popcast put out a few months ago. Could be, who knows, but I'm assuming that's probably the one they speak of. At the end of the day, there's a dedicated community championing this documentary, and it doesn't sound like they're getting any closer to having their dedication rewarded. The team behind To the Journey insists that negotiations are ongoing, and we are continuing to work towards a solution to this long delay. They thank the fans for sticking with us and supporting the film as a Star Trek community that made it possible. Not a lot of hefty news here, but I just wanted to report on it because it doesn't seem like a lot of people are discussing this, and I know there are a lot of people out there who loved the DS9 documentary and are very champing at the bit, I suppose, to see the Voyager one, and it doesn't seem like we're getting that close to actually getting to see it. I know some early adopters out there or some high-end investors. I'm not entirely certain how or who or why these people were selected. I do know there have been some people who were given screenings of it or invited to private screenings. So it's pretty much done from what I understand, and it could come out. It just seems like they don't have anyone to distribute it, and they don't have the legal rights to distribute it either through physical media or I suppose even like a download. Could they potentially give this to people as a free download file or something? I don't know. This doesn't really explain that in all that detail, but It seems like there might be a lot more going on behind the scenes at Paramount with the whole shakeup with Skydance and maybe being bought out or purchasing other places, the turnover of who's controlling Star Trek. All of that might have something to do with this, plus apparently the tariffs and the confusion by the other Voyager documentary. Seems like it might be a long time before we actually get to see this, and I suppose that'll also put a damper on them trying to do these documentary-style things for other Star Trek shows. I would personally love to see them do one on Enterprise. I think that's very unlikely unless that gets a much bigger resurgence in popularity. I know it's received a lot of resurgence in popularity compared to what it used to have recently, and if they bring in that Archer show, Star Trek United, which they keep bandying about, maybe it'll have even more of a resurgence, but I would love to see more of these sort of behind-the-scenes expose, documentary, what could have been another season, whatever they're going to do, because it's the classic era of Star Trek I love, and for Enterprise, probably not so much as the other ones, but these actors are getting older, and if you're gonna have a time to do these things, this is probably the best time to do it. We only have a couple remaining people from the original series. Now, there's been a lot of documentaries on those, so I think doing another one there, probably a little less likely, and TNG's had some official ones as well, but this is probably the time to do them, and the failure of the Voyager one to come out properly might really dampen those. What are your thoughts? Did you even know this was a thing? Do you think it's going to come out? Are you excited to see it? And what documentary would you like to see about anything to do with Star Trek if you could come up with anything to see whatsoever? Leave all your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe, hype, join, do all those YouTube things. But until next time, computer and program.